Hey guys, it's Dean Fries, our Dun crew here. This is Alex. Today we're going to be doing a special news series. This is going to be our top fives. Today's top five is actually going to be our top five favorite dungeons, new school, old school, pre-revamped or revamped. It doesn't matter. You just bring it up and tell us which one it is and why. All right, I'll be going first. Or actually, we're going to do it this way. I'm going to say number five, give my number five, and then Chris will give his. So, number five. For me, this one is going to be Hillsbrad Foothills. Because I really like the story there, and I really like helping Thrall out. I think that it's a great story, and it definitely fun. Chris, what about you? What's your number five?
I'd have to say my number five would have to be Scarlet Monastery. I've always had fond memories of it, so I'd have to say I'd be talking about the old one, not the revamped one. I did enjoy the four different wings. It made it a little bit more versatile, in my opinion, a little bit more diverse. I mean, even though the four wings are incorporated into just two instances now, I still like the choice of having the four and having to have the key to get into the other ones. I really enjoy the atmosphere within Scarlet Monastery. I like I don't want to say like I like the dark textures and everything like that, but it just had a cool feel to me, I guess.
Number four. For me, number four is probably going to be the old Scarlet Monastery as well. I made it a little higher up on my list than you, which is actually kind of funny, but it did definitely the whole nostalgia of running it and running people through it. I used to watch WoW Hobbs, and he gave me the inspiration to play a paladin. That was my first character, my first real character, and I wanted to get up to his level and start running people through Scarlet Monastery. I mean, I saw how he made money off of it and everything like that. But by the time I actually got a pally up to that level and started doing that stuff, it was kind of nerfed. So, on to you.
All right, I have to say that my number four would have to be probably old Stratholme. I do really enjoy Stratholme, obviously due to the high number of bosses and the just the variance in the different parts of the instance itself. Like you go from going down and fighting the cannon boss to fighting Baron Rivendare, where there's abominations, whereas by the Canon dude there's only humanoid Scarlet Crusade people, and then you have the four different mini bosses with their own little temple thing, and I really like the feel of it. It's very smooth. I also enjoyed the whole challenge of making it through the first one in order to make it into the second one by getting the key and the special little you have to get the quest to actually summon the blacksmith guy, and a lot of people didn't even know about that. So, like little secrets that are within that instance.
Number three for me is going to be Skullomance. I remember when I first started playing, this was my favorite dungeon of all time because I had started and my buddy was that got me hooked on it. Well, one of my two friends that had gotten me hooked on it was playing a rogue. That was the only way I could get in, was with a rogue lockpicking it because it was locked. You could not just queue up for it and phase in. You had to actually have it lockpicked. So it became my favorite really really fast. And then the whole balcony and all the other bosses. There was a ton of bosses, which made it even more epic. So I appreciated that one a little more nostalgically, but it still made it in the top five. It's number three. On to you.
Well done, you kind of stole mine, so I don't want to follow that up with the same one. So I'll have to place the Old Sunken Temple at my number three spot. I did really enjoy the whole mini boss kind of aspect that they had to it around the circle where you had to go around and kill them all and activate the stones in the correct order. A lot of the people that I ran with did not know the correct order in which to do it, and I did, which made me kind of feel special. Hee hee. As well as the Pit of Death. That was also a fun thing to use. Get the noobs to jump in there and die. And then, I don't know, I just, overall, I mean, I know it's kind of generic to say it, but I just really enjoyed the feel of the dungeon, with the dragonkin and such, and just the high level of, I'll have to edit part of this out, but, um, how do I want to say this? The high level of involvement required to complete the instance.
So we're on to number 2 now. Number 2 is actually going to be, believe it or not, the ICC trio. Now I know it's number 2, not number 3 through 1 or whatever, but I really liked the whole side entrance to ICC thing going on, and being able to see the Lich King before I could actually see the Lich King, seeing as how I just recently got that achievement. So yeah, I think that would definitely be my number 2. And on to you.
I'd have to say my number 2 is going to have to be Old Skullomance. And yet again, this instance had a high level of involvement that was required to it. You had to go through the whole instance, then get the blood to open up the side door to get to the gargoyle-esque boss, I'd have to say. Not to mention the fact that Rattlegore was, pardon my French, a bitch to kill. He hit so hard it was retarded. Even on level 70s, it's still, he would kill you if you're trying to run through there and farm dark runes for money. I mean, it was a very enjoyable instance.
Number 1. I actually kind of struggled between putting this one at number 1 and number 2. It's actually going to be the first instance that you probably get into in Jade Forest. The, oh god, what is that called? It's not Jade Temple, is it?
Temple of Jade Serpent.
There you go. Yeah, it may be because it's new that I like it the most, but it's also, I mean, we've got a lot of outdoor dungeons, but it's a pretty outdoor dungeon, unlike Strat, which was not a pretty outdoor. Yeah, neither was BRD. Well, BRD was really in a cave. It's not outdoor, but I don't know. It's just, and then you fought the Jade Serpent, which if you did the whole quest line, you've helped all those people, and you actually had to fight them now, and you're like, well, what's going on? You know, what made that happen? So I thought that was a cool kind of thing. So on to you. What's your number 1?
I was going to include Zul'Farrak in this, but since you mentioned the trio, I have to say my favorite is definitely Halls of Reflection. It's just a really, really fun instance, especially the escape from Arthas. The first time I did it, I was just like, damn, man, this is so freaking cool. Because, I mean, I really hadn't had any interaction with the Lich King besides fighting him, or using him, in the Ice Crown quest line, which included fighting Illidan, which was a very, very cool aspect in my opinion. And this dungeon is just awesome. From the effects, I mean, the environment, to the mechanics, / the bosses, and what you have to do is it's really fun in my opinion.
Alright, well there's our top 5. So now if you guys want to leave us a comment on your top 5, that would be cool. Or if you'd like to shoot us an email, definitely do that too as well. Love to hear about them. And next week we will be doing our bottom of the bucket, which will be the bottom 5 dungeons due to looks or reasons beyond bosses. So join us next time.